The phone rang in the middle of the night, waking up Detective Roy from his sleep. He groaned and reached for the device, hoping it was not another emergency. He glanced at the caller ID and saw that it was his partner, Detective Lee. "Hello?" he answered, rubbing his eyes. "Roy, we have a situation. There's been a murder at the Royal Hotel. Room 312. You need to get there as soon as possible." Lee's voice was urgent and tense. "A murder? At this hour? Who's the victim?" Roy asked, getting out of bed and grabbing his clothes. "I don't know yet. The hotel staff found the body and called the police. They said it was a mess. Blood everywhere. Looks like a stabbing." Lee said. "Any suspects?" "Not yet. The room was registered to a Mr. John Smith. Generic name, right? We're checking the CCTV footage and the guest list. Maybe we can find something there." "Alright, I'm on my way. See you there." Roy hung up and got dressed quickly. He grabbed his gun and badge and headed to his car. He drove to the Royal Hotel, a luxurious 5-star establishment in the heart of the city. He parked his car and flashed his badge to the security guard at the entrance. He took the elevator to the 3rd floor and followed the yellow tape to room 312. He saw Lee standing outside the door, talking to a uniformed officer. Lee nodded at him and gestured for him to enter. "Be careful, it's not a pretty sight," Lee warned him. Roy nodded and stepped into the room. He immediately felt a wave of nausea hit him as he saw the gruesome scene before him. The body of a man lay on the bed, covered in blood. His chest was riddled with stab wounds, some deep enough to expose his ribs. His face was twisted in agony, his eyes wide open and staring at nothing. His mouth was open, as if he had screamed before he died. The room was in disarray, with furniture overturned and broken glass scattered on the floor. There were signs of a struggle, as if the victim had tried to fight back or escape. Roy walked around the room, looking for clues. He noticed a suitcase on a chair, with clothes and personal items inside. He opened it and found a passport and a wallet. He checked them and saw that they belonged to John Smith, a 35-year-old American citizen. He also found a laptop and a phone in the suitcase. He turned them on and saw that they were password protected. He wondered what secrets they might hold. He looked around some more and saw a note on the nightstand. It was written in red ink, with shaky handwriting. It read, "I know what you did. You can't hide from me. You will pay for your sins." Roy felt a chill run down his spine as he read the note. He wondered who wrote it and what it meant. He took out his phone and snapped a picture of the note. He sent it to Lee and asked him to run it through handwriting analysis. He then walked out of the room and joined Lee outside. "What did you find?" Lee asked him. "A lot of blood and a lot of questions," Roy said. He showed him the passport and wallet of John Smith. "This is our victim. An American tourist. Do we know anything about him?" Lee shook his head. "Not much. He checked in yesterday afternoon, alone. Paid with cash. No one saw him leave or enter his room after that." Roy frowned. "That's odd. Why would he pay with cash? And why would he stay alone in such an expensive hotel?" Lee shrugged. "Maybe he was hiding from someone. Or maybe he had something to hide." Roy nodded. "Maybe." He showed him the laptop and phone of John Smith. "These are his devices. They're locked with passwords. Maybe we can crack them and find some answers." Lee nodded again. "Maybe." He then showed him the picture of the note on his phone. This was on the nightstand next to his bed. "Looks like a threat or a warning." Lee looked at the note and raised his eyebrows. "Wow, that's creepy. He checked his phone and saw that he had received an email from handwriting analysis. "They've just sent me the results," he said. He opened the email and read it aloud. The handwriting on the note matches that of John Smith, the victim. Roy gasped as he heard this. "What? That doesn't make any sense." Lee looked at him with disbelief. "Are you saying that he wrote this note himself? Before he died?" Roy shook his head. "I don't know what I'm saying." He looked at the note again, trying to make sense of it. "I know what you did." "What did he do?" "You can't hide from me." "Who was he hiding from?" "You will pay for your sins." "What sins?" He felt a headache coming on as he tried to piece together the puzzle. He looked at Lee and said, "We need to find out more about this John Smith. Who he was, what he did, why he was here, and who wanted him dead." Lee nodded and said, "Agreed. Let's get to work." They left the room and headed to the hotel lobby, where they hoped to find some leads. They had no idea that they were about to uncover a dark and twisted web of secrets, lies, and betrayal. A web that would put their lives in danger. A web that would lead them to the truth behind the murder of John Smith.